Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights.
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. That's what this is. And today, we're not wasting any time. I am J.D., a.k.a. He Who Pods. Glasses on, rear view mirror.
I'm Dash, aka Dashing D. What up, what up, what up, what up?
A lot. So let's get right to it.
Yeah, indeed it is. Indeed there is.
Take it away.
What's going on with the uncles? We gotta talk about the uncles. You know
If
the
that's what we calling them, sure.
the funny uncles that like always get at each other and then it'd be like, but do y'all actually do y'all like each other? And then you realize that there's like been this long standing beef since the beginning. You know the uncles. You know the ones I'm talking about. We all have them. And as a collective, we have this pair, Steve Harvey and Kat Williams. Steve Harvey went to Invest Fest,
He was there again.
and Steve Harvey declared that he's got hands
Yep.
at Invest Fest, which I don't know if that's the place where you go and you tell people you got hands, but that's the place he went and told people he had hands.
Yes, it is.
And hands for Kat Williams. He didn't name him specifically.
I mean, he did everything except say his name.
Right. He referred to his physical features.
Yep.
What did he call him? Did he call him a little ass man or a short ass man? Something like that, he said. He talked about his hair. He said a lot of things. As we know, previously,
On Ready to Die. No.
Kat Williams, back in January, Kat Williams had said a lot of things about Steve Harvey on Club Shay Shay.
Yes.
He also referred to Steve Harvey's physical features.
Yeah.
He said a lot of things about Steve Harvey, which weren't the most favorable of comments. So it was clear that there was dissension between the two. It has also been documented that previously they have had problems in the past. Kat Williams has challenged him for the King of Comedy title before, so we know that they don't really get along.
Right.
I find it odd that someone would go to Invest Fest to air out their grievances, but I mean, I feel like in the day and age we live in, everything is so shareable, so easy to distribute that I guess it doesn't really matter where you do your business anymore. It's gonna end up in spaces it doesn't belong anyway. I thought this was really interesting. What did you think?
I think it's whack. I think it's whack because you took almost 9 months. That's number one. Number two, doesn't Steve Harvey do a morning show every day?
Does he? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure Steve Harvey in the morning is a radio show.
That's
1 second.
okay.
It says it airs from 6 to 10 a.m.
Okay.
The Steve Harvey Morning Show, steveharveyfm.com. They got an update there from yesterday.
Okay.
Now, maybe the website is a little different than the radio show, but I don't think so. Because here's Steve Harvey right at the bottom where it says press play.
No, I believe you. So you think it matters? That you think the timing of it matters?
What I don't understand is, or rather, what I think is corny, because I do understand it. What I think is corny is if you wanted to address this, you had an abundance of time to do so. Also, even if he does not do the morning show anymore, and I'm wrong, he got the same social media platforms as you, me, and everybody else. He could have responded the same day, the next day, a week later, a month later. Nearly 9 months later, I don't know the exact day, but this Katt Williams interview dropped damn near on New Year's. It dropped very early in January.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was New Year's, to be honest, but whatever. Even if it wasn't, it's irrelevant. The beginning of the year, the beginning of January.
Mm-hmm.
So you took nearly 9 months and waited until you were on a large platform. There were over 30,000 people at InvestFest. This is not an ad. They did not pay us, but we will take a payment. Holler at us. Now, you waited till there were over 30,000 people in front of you, and you were with someone who is just as salacious, and that is Stephen A. Smith. And so the two of you are talking on the stage at InvestFest. 30,000 people are there, and you know that's 30,000 cameras, along with the cameras that are set there in the professional setting of InvestFest. This was a calculated move, and that's fine because props. Katt Williams' move was probably calculated too.
Okay, because I was sitting here like, but didn't they essentially do the same thing?
No, and that's what I
Because
was getting to
because I
next.
oh, okay.
I don't think they did the same thing because Katt Williams very specifically said your name. Kat Williams very specifically said, these are the things that these people lied about and said their names. You up there and you up there making threats, which contradict the things you're saying, but I'll get to that in a second. You're up there making threats, saying you'll knock his little ass out, I'll do this, I'll knock the perm off of you. All right, that's cool. But why are we making
He said
threats?
because I'm
Because
hood. So okay.
and that's the next thing. Steve Harvey, you're hood? You sure? Because someone with your bank account probably is no longer hood. Maybe you used to be hood. I don't know. But I don't think today Steve Harvey is hood. I think today Steve Harvey is putting on a farce to try to get more clicks and views like a lot of people do. And so I'm sure he knew, well, I've got 30,000 listeners right here. And then this is going to go hit the internet. And this is going to be a shareable moment, a big moment, which I think is whack because you could have been did that. Why did you wait for InvestFest? Also, when did InvestFest become the air out my grievances stage? Why didn't you go back to Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, I don't.
Why didn't you go on Twitter? Why didn't you go on Instagram? Why didn't you go on Facebook Live? Why didn't you do it on your morning show? I feel like there was mad opportunity to do this. And when you finally did it, it's weird and it's corny. And why are we inciting violence? Because maybe it's been 9 months and I don't remember, but I don't remember Katt Williams being threatening. I don't remember him challenging people to boxing matches or saying that he'll knock people's big lips off or anything like that. Maybe I forgot,
I don't
but
remember,
I don't
and
remember
I
any
don't
violent
stand on that
threats
either.
being said. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I forgot. I don't remember any violent threats. I remember him saying he's a liar, he's a piece of shit. I remember those things. And so, yeah, I get it. You wanted to get your clap back. Cool. I think this is whack. I think you had ample opportunity to do so. And I think InvestFest, which is supposed to be about uplifting the community and teaching people and this like educational entrepreneurial place, that's what you do when you go there? I think that's really corny.
Yeah, I agree that InvestFest was not the place for it, but I'm a little confused. I guess I hear what you're saying that it's not the same, but I guess I just don't understand why Steve Harvey would have had to have done it on social media when, or his morning show when Kat Williams went um, to Shannon Sharp and was interviewed by Shannon Sharp. I think when you fire shots, the response is fair game. I think if he wanted to make the same splash or a fraction of the same splash as Katt Williams did, I think you do go to somebody and have them interview you and you say what you have to say. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that I don't know that I don't I don't I don't know that it's right to say that he should have gone on social media to respond when Katt Williams didn't talk to him that way. Katt Williams didn't talk to him through social media. So why does he have to respond through social media? Katt Williams didn't
I'm
go
just
on
saying
his
there were
personal
options.
platform and say it. He went on someone else's show and was interviewed and said it. Why does Steve Harvey have to go why does Steve Harvey have to use his morning show for that? I just feel like it's I feel like breaking it down that way is a little bit tit for tat. Like I think they're both wrong, to be honest. I think that everybody's being messy. Um, Also, when it comes to timing, I don't think that everybody responds right away. Um, I what is the statute? What is the statute of limitations? Statute of limitations. Like I think that people get upset at the amount of time it takes another person to react. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like, does it matter?
I
You
think
think
the time and the place matters. Yeah.
were you mad when Ether came out?
I hate that example. Ether came out very short time
Okay.
after Takeover. I don't know why people keep saying it took months and months and months.
Okay.
Stillmatic dropped a few months after. I hate this example.
Okay. Well, we'll take the example off the table. We'll remove that
And
example.
a rap beef is very different than today's social climate, which is why the rap beef today happened in 17 minutes.
Okay. So we could take rap beef off of the
My point
table.
is my point is
Okay.
if
You make your
if
point.
Steve Harvey wanted to respond, he had ample time and opportunity. Steve Harvey knows mad niggas with platforms. Even if he didn't want to go back to Club Shay Shay, why do this at InvestFest? That's where you go.
Did Stephen
Stephen A. Smith, the same person who interviewed him, has a large platform.
did Stephen A. Smith bring it up or did he bring it up?
I don't know,
Because
but
If Stephen A. brought it up, then that's why.
you could not answer. But you could not answer. This is not the place for it.
Okay.
It's like starting a fist fight at a networking party. Why are you doing that?
False equivalent because me and you being regular people and going to a networking party, it has a different effect. Steve Harvey, who's a big deal in the entertainment industry, going in on a public platform and saying something makes a statement. It might not. He is more. People will be more forgiving of a celebrity speaking their mind there than us going to a networking event and starting a fight with somebody. It's never gonna go over well. The rules are different. Like, let's just be honest. We don't get the same. We're not afforded the same privileges that somebody of his caliber is. It's just not the same. I guess my confusion is everybody loved the fact that Katt Williams went and talked his shit in January about every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the comedy industry. Everybody thought it was great and it was funny and it was entertaining and it went viral. It was this whole thing. Everybody championed Katt Williams. People weren't really mad at Katt Williams for doing what he did, and he didn't just shoot at Steve Harvey. He shot at everybody. People
Yeah.
weren't mad at it at all. I just find it really odd, and I just want to be clear, like, personally, I just think it's bad behavior all around. I'm not in support of one person versus another. So I just want to make that clear. But I do think that I feel like a lot of people are reacting to Steve Harvey negatively about this. But I'm kind of confused. And there were other people who reacted to Katt Williams, other comedians who reacted to Katt Williams, where I feel like people weren't as kind to them as they were to Katt Williams. Is it just that people just like Katt Williams better? And so they can tolerate him more?
Kat Williams went up there and called a lot of people liars. Steve Harvey went up there and said, I'm going to punch you in the face and shoot the perm off of your head. He didn't even respond to the lies.
Okay. I guess the point that I'm making is like people are going to, I'm making a few different points, but one of them is that people are going to have a reaction to the thing that you do. If you're going to call them out on a public platform, and I don't know that everyone knew. I don't know that Katt Williams knew. I don't know that Shannon Sharp knew. I don't know that everyone involved in that interview knew how crazy it was going to go. And then it did. I'm just confused about if you go and you make that much noise and you call my name, and I shouldn't say my, because again, trying to take myself out of this, but and
A person.
you call a person's name, and then we get mad at the person reacting to it. It's like,
No, it's not reacting. It's how and when.
okay.
If the next day Steve Harvey would have addressed the lies, or maybe even given the same response, which I don't like this response. I feel like why are we threatening people? I don't remember Kat threatening people. Maybe I should go look it back up. But you're making threats which you can't even really like. You said your hip is bad and you move way slower than before. Is that a good threat?
Does it matter? Does it matter whether you
It's
can
con-
make good on the threat or not?
it's
I feel like
weird
a threat
and
is
it's
a threat.
contradictory. It's like when I finally catch you and you stop running, man, I'm gonna get you. It's like that's a threat. Anyway, whatever. My
I
point
just don't
is,
know. Like, does it
you
matter
didn't you
though?
didn't
A
address
threat
shit.
is a,
You didn't address not you, him. Steve Harvey didn't address any of the things Kat said. And again, you did it at this place where people are going to learn and soak up game, and that's where you do it. That's my problem. The threat and the place. If the next day he went back on Shannon Sharp, cool, no problem. Say whatever you want on Shannon Sharp. Do 45 minutes, do 3 hours like Katt Williams did. But one, address what is the accusation, and two, go to a place that it makes sense. Like there's plenty of places you could have went. You
I
could have went to higher learning. I mean, there's mad places you could have went and said, "Hey, I'd like to speak to the public about the things going on." I'm sure there's someone he trusts besides. Yeah,
no finish.
I'm sure there's someone he trusts besides the people at InvestFest to speak on a public platform.
I agree that it wasn't the right place. I said that from the beginning. I don't think that it was the right place. I think he could have easily gone on Stephen A's show. Um,
Yeah.
I also don't know. Like, I don't know. I agree with that. I don't think that it was the right event for that. Um,
It's gross.
but I guess in the same token, I'm just feeling like I also don't think that he had to make his response smaller than Katt Williams' initial digs. I don't I just don't believe that. I feel like it's fair game. And as far as timing goes, like I don't know what the rules are on timing. I feel like everybody has their own their own rubric that they use when it comes to how long you should take to respond to something. I also have never been a public figure, so I don't know what it's like to. Who's to say that responding right away wouldn't have been worse? And I think sometimes when you are a public figure, timing does matter. I think even just as a person who's not a public figure, timing matters. But I definitely, I don't know. I don't know. I think all of this is weird. I think the fighting like children when you're grown men is weird. I think it's unnecessary. I think if Katt Williams and Steve Harvey have problems with each other, maybe then either don't speak to each other or about each other, or speak directly to each other.
I
This
can agree with
whole
that.
going on somebody's show to talk about your hairline or talk about your perm, because they both did it. They both did it. And I want to make that clear that they didn't, as far as like taking shots at each other, okay, the threat we said we're not sure about. But as far as taking shots at each other, talking about each other's physical appearance, all of that,
Yeah, they both
they
did that.
both did that.
Yeah.
They both did that.
Mm.
So
I
I
did.
just
That's why I didn't mention that, because that they both did that. Yeah.
So I just want to make sure, like, I don't want it to be that, oh, one person was able to get his shit off and say whatever he wanted to say, and then the other one is not able to do the same. Um, I think all of it is messy. I think all of it is weird, and I don't know. Like, I get that people have disagreements, and I get that people don't always see eye to eye, and there's just some people in life you're not going to like, but I also can't imagine myself like going on a public platform and like publicly shitting on someone and then just being like, okay, well, let me drop the mic and move on. Like, it's a weird thing to do, and it's a risk that either of them took going out on that ledge. Because it's fine for us to say that, oh, Katt Williams called people out on lies, but Katt Williams didn't just call people out on lies. Katt Williams said some fucked up things about a lot of people. He didn't just say, hey, Steve Harvey lied. He said, oh, he's a country bumpkin. He looked like this. He talked like that. He talked about
Yes.
people's wives. He talked about, like,
Yes.
he did not just, his hands are not clean when it comes to the stuff that he talked about with Shannon Sharp.
Not, and
And
I don't think that either.
I feel like people was like, oh, he's a comedian and that's funny. And then people started to respond to him, and it's like, it's not received as well. So that's why my question before was, is it that people just like Katt Williams better? Because
But
people on the
whose
internet will do that.
response was not received well?
Huh?
Mad people responded since then. Whose response was not received well?
I don't have a list.
Oh,
I just feel like people talked a lot of shit when the I could go back. I don't have it. I can't use my phone while we're recording, or else I would pull it up. So if we want to revisit this in another episode, we certainly can. I'm not trying to avoid the question. I just don't. I don't have the evidence here. I didn't know that I would need that. But I do feel like it was like, oh, did you see so and so responding to Katt Williams? Ah, that person's corny, or that person didn't say enough, or look at this person hiding and not saying anything to Katt Williams. People came for the people that people rode for Katt Williams and was like, well, and I remember even you and I talking about the fact that I think one of the things that you said was that Katt Williams doesn't have a track record of being a liar.
right,
So it's easy to believe him.
right.
That doesn't, I don't think that absolves him from him also getting on a public platform and talking crazy about people.
Never said it did.
Also was rude to the host. Like, there was a lot of things that happened that
Yeah,
I
we
don't know.
spoke about it.
I just feel like all of it is bad behavior. I feel like sometimes we try to pick and choose who who's better at it than the other person. And I'm not necessarily talking about you, but I feel like this happens where there's the picking and choosing of who we're okay with behaving badly and who we're not okay with.
I think context and nuance matter in those circumstances. If I'm disrespectful and I say fuck you, and then you go slap my daughter, we were both disrespectful, but there's levels to the disrespect. And so that's going to matter. Did we both behave badly? Of course. I shouldn't say fuck you, and you definitely shouldn't smack my daughter. But yeah, I think in many instances, yes, people are going to pick and choose because they're fans. And yeah, the nuance and context matters. And that's what I'm saying about Steve Harvey. I don't care that he responded. Respond. I think he should have been responded if he was going to respond.
Well,
I
you
don't
said
have a
that,
problem with him.
but you said that you feel like he should. From the way I understood what you said is that it was okay for him to respond before, but it's not okay for him to respond now.
I'm saying that one, you took mad long. Two, your response was whack because it was threats. Three, you used a platform that is not for that. You used a platform, I almost said higher learning. You used InvestFest as your way to shoot back. That's whack. That's not what InvestFest is for. It's not InvestFest is not the messy bad behavior platform. Go to Club Shay Shay. Go to Angela Yee. I mean, there's mad places you could go to do that, not InvestFest. And again, they didn't pay us. This ain't an ad, but I just feel like that is something that a Black entrepreneurial group is trying to build to help other Black entrepreneurs like us. And so why are you going there and threatening another Black entrepreneur? Like, it's weird and it's bad. It's a bad look for all of us as entrepreneurs and Black people, because look what the fuck this nigga's doing on the learning platform. Like, you're gonna go to Reading Rainbow and threaten people? Like, it's weird, my nigga. That's my point. So those are the three things. One, you took mad long. Two, you threatened this guy mostly. That was most of what the 50-second response was threats. And three, you chose a bad place to do it. Again, Steve Harvey got mad friends in the industry. He got mad places he could go. And I was just naming some of the places in the beginning, saying like your show, your social media, whatever. He's mad places he could have went. InvestFest and then only threats.
Okay.
I don't disagree that Kat was out of line. Kat said mad foul shit. We all know that. I'm not saying Kat is justified, but you didn't respond to any of that or the lies that you clearly feel were bad accusations, right? And so, okay, so address the bad accusations, or I don't know. It's just all bad in my opinion. That's my thing. Yeah, Kat did bad, cool. And I don't know Steve Harvey to be a liar either. So if he would have went up there and said, "Hey, I'd like to," again, bad platform. But if he would have went somewhere else and said, "I'm finally ready to address these things. Here are the things that he said that's a lie. Here's my evidence." All right, so come on, Steve Harvey, you got my attention. I'm listening.
I also
But
like
just,
the fact. Oh, I'm
but,
sorry.
but just threats? No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I also would just like to check. I mean, I guess it's a moot point at the end of the conversation. But I also would like to check what triggered the conversation in the first place. Like what? Because Stephen A is known for asking questions about things that he wants to follow up on. Recently, it was with Tank, and he's talking to Tank, and Stephen A is the one who brings up the thing that Tank wasn't even speaking about. I'm just wondering, is that how it came about?
Fair
Maybe,
question.
maybe Steve Harvey wasn't. Um, maybe that question wasn't even expected. I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just trying, but I do want to give that context because I think that matters too. If somebody comes to you and asks you a question on the spot, now you have to figure out how to answer it. And you did say earlier he could have just said nothing, but
Yeah.
some people are not good at just saying nothing. Like
But
that's
that
just
to
that's
me, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying that it makes it right. I'm not at all. Again, I'm not trying to like. I think all of it is bad, but I'm just saying that you're asked a question on a public platform and you're caught off guard. there is a possibility that you could say something that maybe you weren't supposed to say, especially for someone who relies heavily on media training and relies heavily on spin. If he is not the one who typically shapes his own message, and in that moment he had to be, it's very possible that he could say the wrong thing. That doesn't lead to threats. I just want to be clear, but I do feel like there are people who require coaching in order to say things in a certain way to make sure that the messaging is what you would prefer for it to be. I personally think that it felt like it was something that he wanted to get off his chest. It didn't feel like he was fearful to say it or anything like that. It sounded like
Nope,
it was something
I agree.
he wanted to stand in, and that's fine. But I do want to give space for for context, because I do think context matters, and
Yeah.
it's I don't think that, to my knowledge, Steve Harvey contacted Stephen A. and said, "Hey, got some things I want to get off my chest at InvestFest, so let's do this." I don't think that's how that went. That doesn't sound like how that would have gone. So to that point, I think that we should allow space for, did Stephen A. ask him something about it? Did it come up in that way? I think that's the part that we're not clear on, and that might completely tear down everything we've said, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I think that
Or
makes it
not,
worse.
maybe not everything, but just
I think that would make it worse because Steve Harvey, to your point, has decades of media training. So that's number one. Number two, as a man, you got to know when to shut the fuck up
sure.
and control your emotions, because that seems like quite an emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would make it worse to me, because that means you couldn't even control yourself and say, hey, this ain't the platform. I'll go on your show next episode and we can dive in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is a good place to end it, unless you have any final thoughts.
No, I just, like I said at the beginning, I just wish, like, uncles behaving badly is, it's just like, okay. All right, guys, sit down. I don't really care for it.
I understand.
I didn't care.
I agree. I agree. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I didn't care for it when Kat Williams did it, and I made that clear. I don't care for it now with Steve Harvey doing it. I want to make that clear too. Um, I wasn't trying to use this time to um, defend or make Steve Harvey's argument stick or his behavior stick. So I hope that's not the way it was taken. But I just feel like sometimes we get too caught up in the weeds of this person versus that person, and I don't know. But yeah, final thoughts. I just wish that other things would happen. There's a lot of things, and again, context matters. So I don't know what else Steve Harvey talked about. That doesn't mean that he didn't use his time with Stephen A. productively at any point in the conversation. I don't know that to be true. I do feel like Steve Harvey has a lot to offer to a place like the event that he went to. I'm not going to keep saying that.
Absolutely.
In fact, I would love for us to bleep out the name a few times. I know we won't, but I'm just saying we've given them a lot of
Free press.
free promotion today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope that for the people who went, that they had a good experience. I actually heard some things. I'll leave it alone. But I'll tell you off pod some of the things that I heard about the event itself that I thought were interesting. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess my final thought is I know I'm, I guess, caping for Kat in this instance. Probably what people will say, but I too agree it's better when our celebrities, when our people, when our millionaires don't do this publicly. I agree with that. A rap battle is a competitive thing, and even that last one, we said it got out of hand at some point. And so, yeah, I think that if you're gonna engage, do it in a setting where it's the proper setting. And I mean, yeah, I think it's better when we're not quote unquote shooting at each other publicly.
That's real. Okay, we totally had other topics, but
Tomorrow's another day.
tomorrow's another day. All right.
We will see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.